Welcome, Yin Yogis, to our yoga practice today, Yin with a Twist. My name is Eleni and I will be guiding you. We will be needing 2 yoga blocks for this practice. Let's begin in butterfly pose, feet together and knees wide. We'll be moving into our first shape, deer. I'll be mirroring you here, so starting with your right knee behind you and keeping your left knee bent. You can work with a 90-90, or you can bring your heels closer to the body if that's more comfortable for your hips. You're welcome to stay upright here if twisting is not comfortable for your back, or you can start to twist over your left thigh. An option here is to fold over the left thigh using props, either blocks or a bolster or pillow, to rest the forearms. Starting to get settled here, just noticing the sensations through your hips. And then finding the appropriate length of your prop to support the upper body if we did choose to fold here. As we settle in, start to focus on breathing patterns and noticing how your breath is flowing in and out through the nose, or in through the nose and out through the mouth. As we're getting settled here into our first twist, deer, notice if an intention or dedication comes to mind. Without reaching or grasping, just notice if something arrives organically. So if it feels natural for you to come closer to the earth, you can always lower your blocks to the lowest level. You can also release the blocks and have your forearms on the earth. So we're here in our first shape, taking space, taking time, getting settled in. Just another full breath here. And so slowly, let's begin to release, pressing the palms down, bringing the shoulders over the hips, and then gently glide your right knee on top of the left. And we'll take big windshield wipers here, keeping the knees bent. If it feels good, you can add that extra twist. If you prefer to find stillness, feel free to do so. So just a few rounds of cat-cow here, seated with the legs crossed. We'll inhale, draw the heart forward. Exhale, gentle round, tucking of the chin and the tailbone. So a few more cycles here with your own breath, and feel free to notice the length of the spine. Notice the different sides. And we'll switch, bringing our props to the other side, starting in butterfly, starting to bend your left knee, working your heel behind the hip. You can work the 90-90, so 90 degrees for both legs, or you can see here I have my right heel closer to my inner thigh. So just notice what feels better for you. You can start to twist here over the left side and stay upright, or start to make your way down into that fold. I do want to preface here for this class, if you have any type of spinal injury or you're healing, I would say be very cautious about folding in a twist. It can put some pressure on the spine, so we just want to notice and be aware of how our body is responding. So what's normal in a yin practice is to have a dull ache, to feel some tension. If we're experiencing any type of sharp pain or we can't take a full breath in and out, then that's our body's cue that we've come a little bit too far and we need to modify or come out. So take space here. Make sure that your practice suits your body's needs today. And also allowing both sides of the body to speak uniquely to you. One side may need different things, and we can honor that and support the body's needs. Once again, settle here. If you'd like to come deeper, you can always bring the blocks to the lowest level or remove the blocks completely if it feels appropriate. Long and slow breaths, noticing the sensation through the back, through the left hip and the right hip, allowing the head to be heavy here if we're folded. So gently we'll begin to release, walking the palms back, lifting the upper body. We'll gently glide our left knee on top of the right using the palm. And coming back to that seat, feel free to take a big windshield wiper right to left. And take that twist like we did the first time. And let's come back to an easy seat pose, few rounds of cat-cow, just to neutralize the spine. Inhaling, heart draws forward. Exhaling, soft round and tuck. So moving here at your own pace, try to feel your pelvis moving forward and backwards. Almost like a bowl, tipping forward and tipping back. Our next pose is a half dragonfly pose, so we'll stay seated. I will offer a seated version of this with a blanket if you have one. Sorry, I didn't mention that at the beginning. Feel free to grab a towel. It's not necessary to have a blanket, but it just adds a little bit of elevation for the hips. So we'll extend our left leg out, keeping our right heel towards the midline of the body. And staying upright, start to twist over your left leg, taking a deep breath in and starting very gently to hinge forward from the hips. Noticing here your first edge. So we don't need to come super deep. It's different than when we're in a vinyasa class and we're warmed up and we can come a little bit closer to that thigh. We want to make sure that Working with our cold muscles here, we stay safe, we keep it very natural. So using props. Here I'm using them underneath my forearms. Another variation is to slide a block underneath your left knee, and that will bring your thigh closer to your belly. And if you need support on your right hip, you can also slide a block or a blanket underneath your bent right knee. So making the pose accessible here. What we want to avoid is a jutting out of the low back. So if that's happening here, you might need to elevate a little bit higher. And then taking your time. So yes, we're in a twist. Yes, we're finding length through the back and the spine. However, we're also potentially feeling this deeply in our hamstring and back of thigh. And just notice what sensations arise for you, where you feel like it's stronger. Where is there tension, holding or gripping, and can we soften a little bit more? So tools to soften, you can work with deep, full belly breaths and visualize breath into these areas of the body. We'll be here just a couple more breaths. And slowly we begin to release. So walking the fingertips back, coming into an upright spine. Can gently release any props here. And either bending the knees, taking those windshield wipers. You can also extend the legs forward, tap the knees. You may also find simple rest, maybe closing the eyes and finding stillness. We'll come to the other side, half dragonfly here on the right, working that left heel towards midline, starting to twist here over the right leg, taking a deep breath, and we exhale, start to fold. Working belly towards thigh, we do allow that soft rounding here, chin towards the chest, head is heavy. However, paying attention to the low back, noticing here if there's any jutting out, any type of sharp pain or discomfort, and we'll need to support the hips, bringing a block, bringing a bolster, 2 blankets, whatever you need. So this side will most likely be feeling different. Everybody's body is unique. So just notice how this side may need a different modification. Being so kind and gentle to ourselves in our yin practice, and being patient. The beauty of Yin teaching us to slow down. We'll take a couple more breaths here. And slowly walk the hands back, bringing the shoulders over the hips, being very gentle here as we release the right leg. Once again, find your counter movement, what works for you. If you want to take a little back bend here, extend the legs, windshield wipers, whatever feels good. I like to provide lots of options for these postures just because our bodies may need something different. Let's make our way onto the back, keeping our knees bent here. Hugging the knees into the chest, we'll just give a little rock here, massaging the lumbar spine. You can bring the palms to the kneecap and just take gentle circles in one direction. And then the other. Releasing the feet to earth, we'll take our figure 4 twist. Let's start with our left ankle crossing over the right thigh, drawing the left knee out to the left side, and then starting to draw your left heel towards the earth. Your right heel might come a little bit closer to the seat. So I would like to offer a variation that is not presented here, but you can also bring a block or even a bolster underneath your left foot if this is too intense for your outer left hip. Another option, if you wanted to deepen just a little bit more, and maybe this is after a minute or so, you can use your right hand to hold the left ankle. So really try to find what works for you. That left arm can be long here, wrist in line with the shoulder, palm facing up. You can also find that half goalpost or cactus arm. And the back of the head can be soft, or you can gaze over the left fingertips here. Couple more breaths. slowly release. Release the ankle if you have it here. We're just going to take it to the other side. I do suggest sliding a block here. We'll use that left ankle heel and guide the knees over to the left side. So you can situate the right knee on a block. If this is too much for your right knee, just go ahead and release. Good. We'll come back to center, release the foot. Big windshield wipers here, right to left. Preparing for the other side, right ankle crosses left thigh. Work the twist here by bringing your right foot over to the left side. Once again, you can use a prop. Bring the right foot onto a block if that feels good. Finding what's comfortable for the arms, the back of the head. Couple breaths. And slowly work the knees back through center, and we'll take that gentle counter stretch to the other side, leading with your right heel and ankle. Bring the knees to the right. And slowly release. Bringing the feet flat, take nice big windshield wipers right to left. Moving into cat pulling its tail, we'll come into slumber party pose. So let's roll onto our left side, bend the knees, and we'll extend our bottom leg. Good. So the bottom leg is extended, and you might bend the knee and then grabbing the foot with your back arm. So in this case, my bottom knee is my right leg, and I'll be reaching back with my left hand and grabbing the top of the foot. And then my top left leg is either staying bent with a block underneath the knee or extending out. There are 2 binds in this pose, and they're both completely optional. So if you're working with binds and it's comfortable for you, this is a little bit of a deep back bend. You can take your right hand to that extended top leg or foot. So we're not going to hold this one as long, but just know that there's lots of modifications. So don't worry about the binds. It's just an option. Don't worry about grabbing the back foot unless that's comfortable for you. Just find what works best for you. It's a twist. Gently release. We'll bring both knees back through center. And then let's roll onto the belly. Rest here for a moment, stacking the palms, forehead towards the palm or back of hand. And then feeling your belly connected to the earth here. Rolling onto the opposite side, we're going to hug our head into our hand. The top knee will be bent here, maybe supported by the block. We'll bend the bottom knee, start to reach for the top of the foot. So here's your first bind. If you want to work that other bind, you would extend your top leg. In this case, it's my right leg. And grab the outer edge of the right foot with your left hand. Remembering that both binds are optional. You can take a traditional twist here where your bottom leg is long and your top knee is bent. Gently release if you have the bottom foot. You can extend the legs, roll onto the back. Constructive rest pose. We'll bring the feet to the outer edges of the mat and let the knees fall in. Just take a couple breaths here in stillness. Knees hug into the chest, little rock. And we'll move into a bridge pose. So heels underneath the knees, pressing down through the feet, arms beside the body, lifting the hips. So this is a more yang posture, more strength-based posture, but we're just coming back into alignment here. Beautiful. And final happy baby pose, grabbing outer edges of the feet, shins, whatever's accessible here. Feet stay flexed, knees bent. Releasing when you're ready, coming into your master pose, Shavasana. Whatever that looks like for you today. Heels can be to the corners of the mat. You can find a bolster underneath the knees. You can bring a blanket to cover the body. So releasing our practice, releasing the doingness, releasing our effort, allowing the body to just receive. Staying just as you are if you'd like to continue to rest. Or you can start to reawaken, wiggling the toes and the fingers, the ankles and the wrist. Reaching the arms overhead, pointing the toes forward, taking a full body stretch. Drawing the knees into the chest. Rocking onto one side. Gently pressing up through seated. Inhaling the arms up, scooping our inner light and bringing it into the heart space. Acknowledging any intention that you've had, holding it here. Thank you so much for joining me today. Wishing you peace, love, and all the beautiful things. If you like guided meditation or yin music, please join me on my sister channel, Mindful Metta, linked in the description below. Thank you so much for joining me.